Hi, I'm Jamal,
Hi, I'm Daniel.
and here is 10 tips that help you with your social media marketing efforts.
Before any other social media activity starts, you need to know your audience. That means that you need to know who you're talking to. Before you know their language, not just the language, but also the tone of their language, and also what kind of subjects they talk about and how they have an activity during the day, you need to adapt to that, and then by that, you can start doing other activities.
And on top of that, not just knowing your audience, but you want to make sure that you pick and choose which platforms you're on that are best for that audience. There's no point you being on 5 different platforms that are on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, Instagram, Pinterest. You don't need all of these if it's not useful to your business and your audience isn't there. By knowing who your business are, you're able to decide which platforms are best for you and you can do the best effort on there. It's a lot better to be doing really well on 3 platforms than it is to be mediocre across 7 or 8.
Once you've decided on your platform, you need to find out how you adapt to that platform. Content on one platform is not the same as the other one. So everything from formatting to the tone of voice to the specific content, you need to adapt to that and make it valuable at the end for the end consumer.
A value-first approach is very important to your social media strategy. You don't want to be putting content out there that isn't useful to your audience. If your consumers aren't getting value from that content, don't put it up. That value can come in different ways. It could be entertainment value if it's a funny post. It could be humor. It could be informational. It could be educational. It could be 10% off their next order. So that can still be promotional as well. As long as it is valuable to the end consumer, you're doing it right.
Now, this is a tip a lot of companies forget. Being social on social media is an aspect that a lot of people forget about and actually put aside. By being social on social media, I'm talking about actually responding to your customers if they're talking to you. Hopefully they are. And if they're not, ask them questions. If they're replying to you questions, they're gonna feel valued. So these are the kind of things that people need to think about when I say be social on social media.
Another important fact is to know your competition. When you're setting up your digital marketing strategy, check out your competitors. See what they're doing well, see what they're doing bad, and you can emulate those good bits and not do the bad bits. When you are doing that, obviously, don't just steal. I know the phrase of good business people borrow and great business people steal, but only steal the good parts and make it into your own for your own strategy. Because you want to take the things that work and mix it in so it fits your goals and so that you can achieve those goals in the best possible way.
The formula to success is hard work, planning, and then you get success. The reason a lot of people fail is because they forget the part planning. So when you're doing content on social media, you need to plan ahead. That can be doing a pillar system of what kind of content you want to create. It can be content calendar where you literally just put the content you want on the days you want, what time you want. And for these things, there are tools as well. You can use Hootsuite's calendar system. You can use Preview, which I personally use for my personal Instagram. You can also use the actual platform's planning. So Facebook has its own planning system. You can put things into draft on Instagram, and there's many more. So these are the things I think a lot of companies and individuals has to keep in mind.
As Dan was saying, scheduling is one very important thing when it comes to making sure your plan and your content calendar gets done on time and effectively. So when you're doing the scheduling, as Daniel said, there is Hootsuite, there is all these different things. Make sure you find the right tool that works for you. There is a various different amount of price ranges. From Hootsuite is a little bit lower on the end, where you have Sprout Social that also has social listening tools available, and they're a little bit more pricier. And then you have Buffer somewhere in the middle, but there are dozens of different companies that do this kind of thing. By scheduling in advance, that allows you time to check and make sure that you've got stuff ready and that you don't have that issue of consistency, because consistency is a very important thing when it comes to your social media. You want to stick to a schedule and you want to stay to it and you want to post your content at that time.
So we reached the last point. All of these tips leads to one last point, to figuring out if it actually works. In other words, you need to track. You need to track if all the piece of content has given you any kind of feedback, anyone got through the funnel, all these kind of things. The importance of that is to be able to go back to the first question and say, hey, who am I talking to? Are they listening? Are they not listening? Am I not listening as a company? These are the kind of things that we find super important.
Yeah, the main thing is testing. When you analyze and see the results, you're able to test and see what's working and then try something new. And then you take all the things that have worked and boost them up, all the things that aren't working and don't do them as much. You know, it's the whole 80-20 rule that everyone talks about. There are many tools that you can use to analyze and see the results. You know, inside the scheduling tools, you have your Hootsuite, your Buffer, your Sprout Social. They all have those tools that allows you to see the analytics and have a whole analytics dashboards in most of them. Well, Facebook and the actual social media platforms that you're using as well, they tend to have analytics built in. You can download CSV files of all the different data through your Facebook campaigns. And there's a lot of stuff on the internet like Google Analytics that are completely free and able to see how you're doing with your conversions as well. So analytics is a very important thing and should be a cornerstone of the end of your campaigns.
Thank you guys for your attention. It means the absolute world to us. We hope this piece of content helped you in even the slightest. And if it did, please share with a friend, coworker, or someone else who will find it insightful.
And make sure, if you like this content, to click subscribe. We're going to start making a lot more videos over the next coming months. And make sure to press that bell notification so you can see when we're uploading the next video. Thanks very much and have a good day.